Uh-oh. Let me do this. Gotta change that. What is going on? Get that to that. There we go.
Hey, man.
Hey, brother. Oh, it's just what it's got to catch
Am I
up.
lagging?
Yeah, it'll catch up with you.
Okay.
It's the normal. It's the normal. Good to see
All
you, brother. Good to see you, man. Oh, look.
Good to see you,
That
dude.
lady that follows us around is here. Should we let her up? Hold on. Let's ask Chad.
Yeah.
Let's ask Chad. See what this guy's got going on.
Who?
Who?
There's that lady's down there again, Chad.
Wait, down there.
The gang leader. Jolly Rancher gang.
Hey, Laura.
What's up, y'all? Should we let her up? Should we bring her up?
Do you want to come up?
Haley, you want to come
Haley,
up here?
you want to come up?
Hey, Haley.
We're going to allow ruffians on now, huh? I guess I'm up here, so yeah. We can't. Hey.
All right, let's bring her up and see what she has to
Yes.
say. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. She is a
Nobody
gang leader.
move. Nobody get hurt.
What is up with my... Okay,
Okay.
there we go. We're 1 minute late.
Oh, my.
Depends on where you are.
I think it's time for another episode of the Ginn Project Show.
I think that's a great idea.
Welcome to the Ginn Project Show. My name is Haley Beth, owner of Haley Dot. I'm a diamond dot artist. I have a show every Friday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight we're going to have a panel discussion all about art and change. Take it away, Ginn.
Oh, Haley, that was awesome. Thank you, Haley.
Better than last
Better.
week, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, you did not.
What time did you say that show you have was on Fridays? What time was
6
that?
o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What is the name of that show?
The Haley Dot Show.
The Haley
What do
Dot
you
Show.
do?
If you're, what happened?
Because
You're not there.
You know what? So my dream. Before you knock me out. Speaking of this, I have. My dream was, as the topic tonight, my dream was to not be an artist. And I've been changed for good. So here we go again. You can take me out of the...
That is awesome. That is awesome. Haley Beth, I agree with you 100%. Art has changed my life too. That is a fact. Wow. Hey, y'all. That was our friend Haley Beth. That's who that was. That's who that lady was following us around. It was just
I
Haley Beth.
recognize her,
It's
yeah.
all right. It's cool. I wasn't sure, man. I heard that there was this ruffian following us around. Gentlemen,
Not down.
how are you?
I'm good.
Well, how about yourself?
I'm lovely.
Excellent.
I like the topic we got tonight. I like all the stuff all the folks have been working on. Everything everybody's got going on is amazing. Hey, Backyard Bonsai Australia, good to see you. Chuck Franklin, good to see you too, sir. But this idea of art affecting change, I believe there's some meat on that bone. We might be able to get somewhere with that topic. What do you think, fellas?
I think so. I think that's a good topic.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, we did not come up with that topic.
No.
No.
She's in the chat.
Nor have we discussed it previous to now.
And I'm wondering if she's going to join us for a discussion of her topic. It would make sense.
I think so. Yes.
Right on. That's a great idea, backyard.
That's cool.
Okay, Laura. Right on. So, I figured what we would do is have Ashman let us know what he's got going on and his new schedule, how that's been going, what he thinks so far, that kind of thing. And then we're going to shift over to Chad Rev Art. And look, man, I might be working with some of the most prolific artists on the planet. Ashman produces art like it's cartoons or something. I don't know how he does it. And Chad Rev was carving throughout the night the other night for 7 damn hours, I believe it was. And there's chains involved and locks and teeth and hair and tentacles.
I should have brought it in so I could show it.
Man, it's
I might grab it while Ash is talking.
Yes,
I might grab it
Ace,
while
they
Ash
are.
is talking.
They are, in fact, crazy
Thank you,
good
Ace.
artists. So I thought that's what we would do tonight. We'd bring Ash on while Chad went and got his shit together. And Ash, man, I'm hoping you'll tell us about like your new schedule, kind of your impression of it, what you think about it. Who's been there rolling with you despite of what time of change it is. People like Laura. So anyway.
Yeah.
Ready, set, go.
Well, if anybody's noticed, I've switched to morning shift. So that's why I'm always tired, because it's morning and I'm a night walker, but I had to do it. So I'm on from 5 o'clock Arizona time to 7 o'clock and sometimes 8, 9, whatever, depending. And that would be what? 7 o'clock Eastern?
Till 9 or 10 or 11
10 or 11 something like that. So yeah, I've switched to morning shift every weekday, and then once in a while on the weekends I might pop on and do some music and hang out with you guys, something like that, but unannounced, unexpected, whenever. So I'm supposed to have the weekends off, but Ginn forced me to go on live over the weekend.
It's in his contract, y'all. He has got to bring Ashman to the people. He cannot miss 2 days in a row. That is unacceptable.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and it's been nice because I get to see all the people that I miss, or they see me at the beginning of the shows at night, so I get to see them more during the day, and I still get to see people like Laura and Spurs and all these wonderful people, Flutterby. So yeah, it's been great actually. So I've been getting my beauty sleep more than I used to. So I am wide awake when I go to do the show. Finally. Unlike at nights when I was dragging.
Well, tell me this. During the nights, you were making quite a bit of art. Are you still doing that during your show in the mornings, or is it more of a conversational thing?
It's a little bit of both. It depends on what's going on that day. Sometimes there'll be conversation through the whole day, and sometimes I'll just break out some artwork. So it depends on what we're doing, what we're feeling that morning, and, if I feel like arting or not. Sometimes you guys have such a good vibe going on and we're listening to music. I'll just listen to music and hang out. Other times, yeah, I'm going to break out some charcoal or pen and ink or whatever it is. Maybe even writing. I don't know.
So I've learned something too, which is that, we're on at night and that's like our work time. That's when our brains are going and all of that thing. So some of us have had to learn to slow down a gear or four when we slide into Ashman's early morning show, because Ashman's early morning show is good morning. So we were playing things like Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
And
we did Motown the other day.
Yes.
So,
yes.
We did. We're going to do Punk in the Morning tomorrow. So
you never know what might be happening. It could be Enya or it could be Sex Pistols. You never know.
Exactly.
Did you say Punk in the Morning?
It could be.
Yes.
Yes, have some.
In the AM.
Never mind
Ashman's
the
Punk Hour.
Yes.
So, what else you got going, Ash? What the art that you've been working on, all the different stuff that you got going on.
Well, I think I'm on the Ginn Project. Then
what night does that
Low
happen?
Orbit Lounge.
Orbit Lounge.
What else do you guys want from me?
Well, you do have a
Only
website
everything.
where stickers are available and some swag, some of your art is available. I'd pass that along to them. Maybe.
Okay. It's at evesartistry.com. You can get all your acrylic and oil painting needs at evesartistry.com. You can't get my stuff.
You damn sure can.
Better stuff.
You damn sure can. I bet if you reached out to evesartistry.com, you could get some Ashman stuff. I bet they can work something out. They know each other, I believe.
Yes. I might know. Yeah, you can go to ashmansbasicartstore.com and pick up some wonderful stickers or prints or original artwork over at ashmansbasicartstore.com.
That guy right there. Y'all, he's also written a couple books. He's also a musician. He has a podcast called Genteel Poverty. There's a whole bunch of other stuff he could talk about, but he's a humble guy, so he's not going to do that. So I just do that until his face turns red. And then we switch him over and put Chad out there.
There you go.
Ashman, thank you for that, sir. My impression of your morning show is I love it. I miss hanging out with my dude at night. It's gonna be a little weird figuring all that out, but I got it to look forward to here. See, and I have new hope on the horizon because occasionally this guy over here is roaming around late at night again.
Nice.
And I almost got to do a live with him within the last 24 hours, but I did have to sleep at some point.
Yeah.
I've gotten weak in my old age, and I need to sleep every few days.
Sometimes you just gotta stop tapping for a minute, you know?
Yes. So Ash, man, I know where he wants to go with this. So Chad, please tell us what you've got going on, and if you have managed to retrieve that amazing piece of art you've been working on, and
I have.
And you also have a website and merch available and things you could tell us about. The award-winning, globe-trotting, hanging out with bigwigs, Chad Rev Art World.
Only Ashman. That's the big wig that I hang out with.
He is bigwig.
I mean, look at his wig. Look how big that thing is.
It's a big wig.
It is a big.
It's a big wig.
I mean,
I love that salad.
I got my beard at the same place.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, I do things. I've been doing things like I always do things. You know, full throttle, one way or another, no in between. I was like low key off radar for a while, handling stuff, and then I'm back pulling like 7 hours. I would like to thank all of you guys. All of you, like, holy cow. Everybody has just come into my lives and hung out and supported me and ran it for me and all the usual suspects. The list, if you want it, is right here pretty much. it just keeps scrolling. But yeah, that's what I've been doing a lot of. I was actually on for about an hour earlier as well. I squeezed in a little bit of pre-game to get some stuff going. Here's the piece that I've been working on recently.
Wow.
Let's try something, Ash, man. We're going to try something, man. It might mess us up for the whole show, but who cares?
It's all right.
Oh, man.
Let me see if we can... there we go.
There you go.
Oh, hey, look at that. Look at
Dude.
that.
Dude.
It's a big boy. Okay. Now, I'm reversed, so it's going to take me a minute of being like, where the hell?
Reversed and full of burritos.
I have been... yes. Yes, that's an elevated reverse.
An elevated reverse.
Fully elevated reversal. Thank you, Phil.
That chain,
Guys,
man.
The gentleman that married my wife and I, he's in the room with y'all right now. So yeah,
What's up, man?
Be honored. Check it out. Yeah, these chain links were fun. There's a little hidden tentacle sucker back there.
Oh,
Oh, come on.
Good
Go
to
the
see you,
right way,
Philip.
dummy.
Thanks, man.
See if this will help. Oh!
You almost got to see him out of his skin suit, y'all. That's what happens right before the skin
I
suit
know.
sheds.
Right before it
Dude.
pops.
That lock, too, man.
We're
That's
working.
crazy good.
I'm trying to get back to it. There we go. So yeah, this is what I've been working on a whole lot here the last few. A lot of you have been hanging out with me.
That hand is cool, man. It's coming around, too. I love it.
And let's see. This is what I started when I was doing my hour earlier as a pregame. This little bit here, working on an octopus eye. I just barely got started.
It's going to be cool.
Eye sticking out right there.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys.
Love it,
And
man.
oh yeah, I started doing the top.
Rachel.
The whole
What's
thing
up,
or not,
Rachel?
but- So yeah, starting to get that domed top sticking up out of the bark and such. You know where it's going. You see it.
It's a great piece,
Whole
man.
room full of artists. They're like, yeah, I get it. Thank you. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. And you guys can go see more of that stuff at chadrevart.com.
He said,
.com.
yes.
And you can check stuff out on my YTubes. And I have merch. You can buy shirts with this beautiful face on it. Not as well lit, more like that. That's what I got, man. That's what I've been working on.
That is plenty, man. We'll take
that's
it.
it.
That is plenty,
you'll take it?
sir. That is plenty.
Yeah.
That is plenty. He's also been doing his normal thing, helping people out, running around, building stuff for people,
Raising
doing
baby
things.
chickens.
Raising baby chickens,
Speaking
all of
of-
that kind of stuff.
Speaking of, you should point everybody over to our link trees to find the GoFundMes for two of our friends who are fighting cancer. Should
I
we
got
do
a
that?
note. I got a note from Johnny Ray, not long ago. Earlier this afternoon, and she's doing okay. She had her surgery. Y'all wanna fill in any of that that we know, that we're aware of?
She had her surgery. Her PICC line is inserted. They used it today. They were harvesting stem cells, and she was supposed to have to go a number of times for them to harvest stem cells, but her body was like, not here. And there's a really good chance that she gets to go to the hospital to start treatment as early as possibly tomorrow.
Yep.
So they may have collected enough just today alone to get her rolling. Now, once that goes, she's still got like over a month of having to stay there at the hospital. But it's really excellent that she's got the surgery behind her, and that hopefully with that one visit for harvesting stem cells, then they're good to go. So, yeah.
Man, that's good news. We'll take care of all the good news we can get.
Yeah, and you guys can find those GoFundMes in our link trees. One for Johnny Ray, and another for Rebecca Hawkins. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, and you guys know her. You know, she's an artist. She's a wonderful person. She's a sweetheart. So any help is appreciated, and help can be a kind word. Just going by and looking at her pages and putting some likes on her stuff, maybe putting a kind comment. You'd be shocked at how far those go. So thank you so much for those that have been sending her messages and notes and those kind of things, and information like Mondo. Thank you, Mondo, specifically too. For sharing information regarding that and helping out. Hey, what's up, Neil? So, yeah, man. This community is amazing on here, and I guess I got to talk a little bit about what I've been working on, which is these guitars. And we're getting closer and closer. I got a box full of pickups in today, and you're going to love this, Ash, man. Chad and I had a chance to talk about it earlier. I ate casserole. TikTok is weird about brand names and stuff, but I've been saying the name of a brand of pickups that I was going to put in all of these guitars, and I was shocked and pleasantly surprised when the box arrived today, because we have a friend of ours who is a guitar player. And he's not the one that's from Alabama. He's the one from Georgia. And he is kind enough to let me pick his brain on occasion. And so I had a conversation with him, and he actually was the one that acquired the pickups for us.
All right.
And as it turns out, we have custom wound individual Fralin matched sets to go in the guitars. Hand wound Fralin pickups from Richmond, Virginia, where Mr. Fralin winds them himself, which is why it took a few weeks for them to come in. And I was a little confused as to why it would take so long for the ones to come in. But these are all actually hand wound by the man himself, and they are going to be spectacular. So we just upgraded by like 5 levels.
Pinkies up on that one.
Fine pickups, fine hand wound pickups.
Exactly.
Yes. So I was excited about that. Got 8 sets, some P9, 3 sets of P90s and 5 sets of humbuckers. And the only thing that we are waiting for to show up is the potentiometers. We got the rest of we got the pickups, the tuners, the switches, all of that kind of thing. So we are getting close. I almost had a panic attack because they are the same type of humbuckers, but they're humbuckers, but they don't have the cover around the outside. They go down inside the pocket, just like a P90 does. Mm-hmm. Now, the good news is, as I've been saying, and I made all of those lines as if you were going to be able to see them, and I had no idea you were going to be able to see them. But when we dropped one in, that one right there, it looked spectacular today. So, anyway,
nice.
It's It's not far away. S.A. Artistries, Samantha's Starving Artist already has hers. Chad has one that he potentially will be working on when he gets damn good and ready. If he wants to. If he don't want to, he won't. Chad does what he wants. Chad just does what he wants. Ashman's got one coming soon. Severed Art, who is in the chat with you, has one coming soon. SA already has hers. There's one over there for Eve. There's one over there for Kira. And others. So anyway, that's what I got going on. I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be cool. And the reason I wanted to mention that, I don't really mention a lot about what I do on here, but it leads into, it is an example of our discussion tonight. Spurs, take care. It is I don't know. My story is a journey about the topic tonight. So if we're talking about artwork and we're talking about art specifically and how it can impact your life, the fact that the Ginn Project Show is coming to you right now is a result of that. Quite a few years ago, I was about to open a restaurant that had a social work component. I was 3 credits away from graduating with my master's degree and starting basically a third career. A friend of mine called me and asked me to help him take down a barn. I did that. I started making stuff with that material. That quickly turned into a business. I never went back to school. Some years later, I started milling my own lumber. Some years later, some musicians started showing up at my house. And around that same time, I met Chad Rev Art. Chad Rev Art asked me to be the co-host on his show. And at that time, I had begun to think of myself as an artist because a man named John Nickerson started coming by my shop. John still has designs that are used by Blinko Glass. He helped design the 71 Camaro. He was on that team. He helped open several art schools in the Midwest back in the 60s. Just a hell of an amazing guy. And he started coming by my shop. I met him through the antique store that you've heard me talk about. He started teaching me some lessons. And one day he was standing in my shop and he said, you've got to stop thinking of yourself as a crew chief or as a social worker, as a whatever. What you are doing now is art. You're an artist. You got to stop thinking of yourself in these other terms. You're an artist. And it took me some years to come to terms with that. And I was still coming to terms with that when I met Chad. And Chad asked me to co-host on his show. And the reason that he asked me to co-host on a show at that time was he was doing his carvings, and it was difficult for him to keep up with the chat because he's a popular dude. So I started helping him out doing that. And pretty quickly we realized that there was something here, and we developed the Ginn Project Show. And we're almost 2 years in now, almost 100 interviews or something like that. And it all stemmed from the art community, the art world. Whether that was John Nickerson reaching out of the art world and saying, hey, you're one of us, you need to get over here. Or it was running into Chad and just starting to learn how artists navigate and how artists do things. And because I was completely unfamiliar with that world, other than John Nickerson and a couple other people, until I met you guys. And, S.A. and Tiffany and Haley and all of those folks. So the fact that the Ginn Project Show is on, the fact that I'm building guitars, almost all of which are collaborative efforts with artists, is all the result of art changing the trajectory of my life in real time. So that's how I thought maybe we could kick off that conversation. I'm a walking, talking example of art changing someone. Or not changing them, I'm talking about changing what I was doing for a living, like how I did it. I was down here for years,
Right.
perfectly happy by myself, and now I get to work with you guys all the time.
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
but I mean, Severed Art, Kira Wilson, right? I mean, these are some absolutely phenomenal artists and people, and they affect change just by being who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once it gets you, thank you, dear. Once it gets you, it changes you, and if you let it, you become art as well. Oh, you didn't have to put me out there. I didn't have a whole lot to say.
Well,
I was just saying you as a person become.
let me ask you about that statement, becoming your art. You and I have had a lot of conversations, man. And a lot of them revolved around your music career and how you would have to become this entity that would take the stage. And then sometimes it was difficult to shift gears. And sometimes people didn't realize that, yeah, you're the same dude, but that's not how you act walking around on the street. Like you're on stage performing.
Right.
And that change would get muddled in that context, right?
Yeah, because you definitely, I mean, when you're playing music, I was thinking about this earlier, knowing what the topic was going to be, and I was like, man, there are so many ways this affects art, affects life, affects art, and it could go anywhere from, hey, what's up? I wouldn't necessarily call it a persona on stage, but it is definitely like an amplified version of yourself. So, but when you're playing the music, you allow that music to infiltrate you and allow you to become that, and vice versa. So it's a give take. So by you becoming that, you also change the art. But then when you give it to the audience, there is yet another change, because you're infiltrating their being as well. So you are changing those folks.
Your vibe is going out into them, and they're feeding you back.
It's an exchange of energy. Yes. Yes.
It is an absolute exchange of energy. And I have been able to experience it in a couple of different manners at this point in my life. And I really feel like honored to be able to do that, to have that chance. I've got to be on here, and I mean, yesterday or the day before, when I did like my 7 hours, it was kind of split up. Like, I got more lost in a flow state in my head, in my work, than I have in the longest time. Like, I was so zoned into what I was doing. And the cool thing about it is if it wasn't for all the folks like you all here, I wouldn't be able to be doing this. Period. And it's you guys' art that changed me to where I could do this and do my art, and then I can find a way to completely zone out, completely find my flow state, and I don't mean this in a pompous way, because it goes in any direction, but you get to watch that. You get to not only see a piece of art that somebody has flow stated on for hours and hours and hours of their life, but for those of you that decide to watch, you get to witness somebody in an extremely deep flow state. And I know a lot of you are like me, but I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of really deep meditation. And when I find deep flow states, they are sometimes extremely deep, like that whole, the rest of the world melts away. No, it's gone. It's gone. But I think, you get that exchange, and, doing it with an audience from stage, there's another change. And the art that you're making is changing you while you're changing it. and the both of you are changing someone else, and they're changing you. I don't know. It's an incredible exchange,
Oh yeah.
and everything is changed in every step of it.
Yes.
It's funny because when I'm into my work time, like, flow state, that sort of thing, it's funny because I work a little differently. Like I'll start to talk to the audience, and I'll ask them, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And blah blah blah. And I just keep working. And if I don't like the idea, I don't do it. But at the same point, it's kind
Sure.
of interesting to work with
Yeah.
so many talented people in the chat, and they all have these great ideas. And it's fun, like you were talking about, feeding off energy and then giving back the energy, right? That's what it feels like sometimes at night. It's like we're both powering each other up, and we keep each other going. Sometimes I would work later than I want to because I'm in the zone, and I just kind of keep going, or like sometimes at night Ginn's going and he's in a flow state, and I'm there hanging out, kind of being a cheerleader, basically, to going, yeah, keep going, man, keep going, because that's what you do for one another. You want each other to excel. You want each other to keep going and be more and be better. And I think that's the thing that I really love about this platform, is that it's made me better at what I do. And, I'm hoping to be better every day that I work, because I feel like I owe that to you guys for watching. I want to inspire. I want to communicate. I want to hang out.
Sure.
I want to vibe together. So I think that's really important,
Man, it's amazing to me because I can remember having conversations with Chad, and he was basically pleading with me. Look, man, you just gotta, give it time. This is like, I'm telling you, we're on it. We have something here. I'm telling you, because what was it? 6 weeks ish, Chad? I wanted to throw up before every show. Like, I was literally a guy in a basement, perfectly happy, working on my stuff, just doing my thing, building stuff.
You should have seen his face when I told him he needed to come onto mine.
Like, why do you want me on? That's crazy. What do you want me on your show for? So then there's this, we had discussions about, okay, well, maybe we'll do some stuff here and there, but we're certainly not going to be able to learn to build guitars from scratch on a live. There's just no way to manage it all. And then what happened was, people started helping out. We mention Laura and Spurs all the time, and there's many others. But those are two people that I talk to outside of the platform and kind of strategize with, and have some time together with, and kind of understand.
Sure.
I think, and this crazy thing happens. Suddenly we're talking about, well, how are we going to do lives where we're not paying attention to the chat? Because now Chad and I are both working, and I'm not incapacitated, so I'm able to, work. And the answer was, well, if mods show up and help us out, and I'm like, man, we can't ask people just to be there whenever we happen to be on, and then kind of moderate, because for whatever reason, what we do seems to come with a bunch of bullshit sometimes, and they got to filter through all of that, and they do it relentlessly.
I had 2 mods before I started hanging out with you guys, because I was like, I don't need mods. I don't want to bug anybody. I don't want to interrupt anybody's.
I feel you
with my stuff. And then, and then people just wanted to help, and they wanted to hang out, and it was wonderful.
And the result of that is, it's just magnitudes of order, because I still get anxious going live, but I should, the last time I went to an at bat, I was anxious. That's the good stuff, right? If you can focus that energy, then that's how you can actually get somewhere. But then this thing happened to where now I can actually be live working on a project, do the math, think through it, make the mistakes, do all the things, and it's completely supported. And when I screw up, we laugh, and maybe I bang my head on the table, but that has become part of the joyous experience, though, right? That journey of walking that path together, like we did it together. It's not a it's not a
story.
1, 2, 3 man, woman, whatever operation.
Yeah.
Say that again, Ash?
I just said it's the human story of it, right?
Yeah.
Like the ability to come together as a community and work together for a purpose. And, and to watch you create those guitars is amazing, and to watch Chad carve is amazing. To be witness to something being created is phenomenal. It's I remember the first time I was hanging out in Chad's live, I was just like, geez, this guy's just going for it, and there wasn't anything else like it on TikTok. So it was really interesting to watch, and you become a part of it in a weird way, and like we were talking about energy, that sort of thing, and we become part of the story too, as viewers. So
yes,
and that's the thing, and I'll say this with all sincerity, and I've had a few conversations with people, and when I said this, they were like, "Wow." Rachel in the chat is one of them. I was talking about this recently. I dedicated my life to trying to help a population of people who had a variety of needs, and I went in the military to get the GI Bill, to get the education, which took me 11 years just to get, that bachelor's. And then I worked for other people. Then I wrote my own programming, started my own practice, and got burned out and walked away from it. So woodworking was an accidental third career. And the one thing I did differently on this journey is I have no formal training. Working on airplanes, obviously, there's a lot of formal training. Getting a degree, there's, all the formal training. And then being able to teach and write training programs and stuff, there are all the formalities and certifications and all the things you had to get to be able to do that. I just started taking barnwood and making shit with it. And I fell in love with it. It was that, of all the planning and all the years of heartbreak and agony and trying to be hungry, literally, and trying to get enough money scraped together to get to the next class or the next book or the next thing. I just started making stuff out of wood of some barn that we took down. And we've had shows where people got $1,000 donations. We've had shows where people have sold their artwork. We've had shows where people have ended up with album covers, or they've ended up with a donation for their various charities. Or I have been able to help more people in 2 years with you folks on this platform than I was able to help when I dedicated my life to that cause completely, to the point where I burned out. Us have literally helped more people than I was able to help when I was dedicated to literally, my job was to help people better themselves.
I think part of the beautiful thing of that is that we watch each other's back too, so that if we are burning out, we hold each other accountable. Like maybe get some sleep, maybe pull back a little bit, maybe do X, Y, or Z, so that we can keep going forward and doing what we need to do. So, when we talk about community, we really mean it, and we get concerned about people in the chat too. We've become a real community. So it's really interesting you say that.
They did that to me last night while I was working.
Really?
I was tired and I was trying to decide if I wanted to start on a different part of the sculpture. or if I just wanted to, go get some food and get some rest, and they were all like, "Dude, you need to get some rest, buddy."
Laura told me to go change once.
That was pretty much go change.
Go change.
Because I wasn't in the zone. Because I had dress clothes on. Just like go change, go do something. Because you're not in the mood right now. And it's like I came back and changed.
Yep. Yeah, Laura and the whole crew were like, "Bro, get some rest." Like,
yeah.
It was one of those like, we appreciate you working and we're all hanging out, but
it's time to get some
sleep. My brother, sleep.
Yes.
And hung out for a little longer than I did.
You know, Kira?
Yes,
I was just about to speak on
definitely.
that. And here's why I was going to say about that particular subject, Kira, is the other thing that happened is part of the reason that I was in my basement building stuff, and unless you knew me through the antique store or you knew me personally, there was no way you would even know I was here. It's just a house on a street, but what that experience of writing training programs and getting burnt out, and it was from, you're meeting with the federal government, you're meeting with the state entities, you're meeting with the county, you're meeting with all the different NGOs and all the different, charitable organizations and all the different, it's a lot. And I had kind of lost trust in humanity in a lot of ways. I got to see how people treat each other, and it wasn't pretty. And it's people that were supposed to be caring for other people, for example. Part of the reason I got pretty decent doing interviews is I would go around and talk to everybody that was willing to talk to me when I took on a client so that I could use that information to write their programming. For example, if it was a female and it seemed like maybe she was in an abusive situation and I was able to glean who that person might be, then through the interview process, then I probably wouldn't put them in charge of her programming, right? So these weird skill sets kind of came into play for us. And the next thing that we know, we're all kind of working together, Chad and I and others on this show. And we have this idea to interview artists and to make it, rather than just 5-minute quickie thing, let's take it seriously as if okay, whoever the artist is this week, that's the feature. I'm going to do a interview with them the day before. We're the average of those conversations have been from an hour to 5.5 hours. They're usually 2 or 3 hours to set up one show. And what I gained from this community was a lot of that trust back. The thing that we were talking about. I can go on a live, which I was anxious about doing, and learn something that I did not know how to do in front of everyone. And it is supported by people in the chat who are essentially running the chat because I lose focus on the chat. I'm thinking about my job and what I'm actually will help make sure we eat. And it opened up all of these other doors. Chad and I were talking about building some guitars and doing some stuff together, but we didn't have any idea that there was going to be a whole line of them by Ashman and Severed and S.A., who, Samantha the Starving Artist is my favorite artist and one of my favorite human beings. And now we're friends, friends. I've been to her house a couple times. So it's mind-blowing, man. It really is. And I go back to this community has helped more people in less than 2 years than I was able to help in the first 50 years of my life.
Well, you're talking about personal and collective transformation, which is really interesting because, yes, we're all changing as artists and as humans, and by working together, we're all changing as a community, and we're really functioning as a wonderful community here. And I think that's the best thing I've gotten out of this. Like you talk about being in a guy in a basement, and Chad's a guy that lives out on a farm. Well, I was a guy that just hung out in the studio all day and did my art by myself. So, and I saw that in the chat earlier that everybody was talking, oh yeah, I was reclusive. I think that's
Kira.
part of it. That's part of it. And we were looking for something and we found it. You know, how many of us have gone to different environments looking for our own, right? Like somebody to hang out with, somebody that kind of connects mentally or spiritually, whatever it is. And you can't find it. It's really hard to find in your own vicinity at times, you know.
Yeah.
But we came
Yes,
on here and we were able to connect because we all wanted the same things. We all wanted the same, we all had the same drive. We wanted to help people. We wanted to do our art. We wanted to heal through our art, and we wanted to help people heal with their art. And it's therapeutic. It's beautiful, and in my mind, it's magic. So,
100%. 100%. I mean, look at MC in the chat, for example. The stuff he creates. He had a whole ass career as a musician. Another, like, you guys are unbelievable. If you can play music, apparently you can do some other shit too.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's awesome, Mom T. Well, that's the thing, you know. For me, I literally was going to use TikTok as just a platform that I could kind of do some time-lapse stuff of. I was going to set up a camera and just film myself working on, because every once in a while I was like, man, these are kind of cool projects. It's a shame nobody sees them. And I was just going to do
That's
some
exactly what
time-lapse
he told me too. That's no joke. I'm just want to do some time. I want to figure out some time lapses, and I guess let somebody see my stuff. Ta-da!
And he started laughing. I was like, well, maybe not. He's like, no, you misunderstand.
I took that to heart when you said that, though. When you told me once, I went, I'm going to make a time-lapse video of you working. And
You
I just
did
posted it. I was like, I'm going to do that because he hasn't done one yet. So I was like, I got to do it.
My whole idea got derailed by the Chad Rev art.
I get
do
it
what I
though,
can,
because
man.
I came
I do what
on
I
here
can.
to do, I came on here to do silly stuff, you know, little funny videos, show off my artwork, show off my humor, that sort of thing. And then it became more involved, and I started talking to more people and hanging out with more people and doing some serious videos and that sort of thing. And it became more to me, you know. So, and you know, I hit a moment where I was going to stop. And then these guys dragged me back in, and I'm glad they did.
Well, man, I mean, I remember that time frame. You know, it seems like eons ago, but and then again, it seems like yesterday. But I remember that conversation because at the time, it was the day we were going to start the Low Orbit Lounge. Mm-hmm. We had reached out and had a conversation. To my memory. And then Chad had some stuff pop up. You know, his pop had some things going on. He had some other stuff going on in his life. He got to just kind of refocus and take care of. And that put Ashman riding shotgun on the show for a couple months. And originally the conversation was around it being a temporary thing. And the truth of the matter was, after the very first show, I already knew. After the first show, I was like, oh, dude, we got to figure out how to keep this guy around somehow, some way. And had a conversation with Chad, like, hey, man, like, this is amazing. This is better than I even thought it, you know. Dude just stepped right in, doesn't complain, doesn't whatever, just handles his business, shows up with notes on time, in line, ready to go. Which was motivating for me because there was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure at that time. In some ways, just kind of trying to keep everything on the tracks there. And I mean, then all of a sudden we're having conversations about, well, you think they'll accept that there's three of us? And then there's conversations about, well, we got to have an MC, and there is nobody on the planet that could be the MC other than Haley Beth, obviously. Like, she was the genesis. She was one of the first people we all met. So then we have this new format of this new show that is, you know, Ashman and Chad Rev Art and Ginn and Haley Beth introducing everybody. And dude, I think it got better with the addition of Ashman. If that, you know, what do you think, Chad?
I still keep
Absolutely.
He still got the contract.
Oh my gosh.
But
and here we
the
are.
community did
my
that.
God.
That's another example of that sense of community was kind of around us. And I think it gave us the ability to be willing to try to work with each other. Hey, we're a part of this community together. Maybe we could be on, maybe we could be on the show together. Maybe we could make this work out, And it would have been absolutely tragic for Ashman not to be doing a show on social media. You just got too many things to say, man. You got music and puppets and oil and acrylic and charcoal and pencils and an airbrush and a wood burner and puppets and I mean Ashman is a thing, puppets. Dude. That brother's a show.
Keep up with you guys. That's all. Just trying to keep
the whole circus.
Circus. Circus is good.
So
good analogy.
So I don't know. I feel like that art. I mean, it's undeniable in my life that it affects change. Now, there's some negative ways that it can go too. You guys have anything you want to share on that, or do we want to just skip through that hour?
That's cute. He said hour. We'll just skip through that month of speech. Negatively, I would say quite often people set unrealistic goals for themselves and or don't understand those goals. And they will tear themselves apart from the inside out, chasing their own ass. I'd say that's the first and most just at home, close to like center you can get for an artist as a negative impact.
I was thinking bigger picture, man. That's a really good example. I was thinking about like, say some group that started a war that appropriated peaceful symbols that then became representations of hate and used as propaganda. So in that instance, art was used as propaganda.
Oh yeah. Social and political awareness within art. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the other side of that coin, art has been used to fight against propaganda as well.
Oh yeah.
Even like go back to yellow journalism and some of
breaking and
some of that type of stuff. Yep.
Thinking of that one.
Shit show.
Yes, art is political by its own nature and can be warped for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it also
historically has been used to critique power. So, I mean, that's the people's voice, right? So, and we try and use that. So, I know I've done some pieces that way. Mine's usually against corporations, stuff like that, like big monopolies, that sort of thing. Like, I don't know, Disney is one of my main targets that I go after all the time. But, I use my voice as an artist to go at it. So, yeah, that's my soapbox is my art. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Chad. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just agreeing. I said, yeah.
There's this. Chad was talking about people tearing themselves apart over it too. I would argue that another potentially negative side is kind of like the obsession with fame. You might say, like some people, I have the impression that some people think being successful in your art is equal to being famous. And I would argue that that's not necessarily the case. I would argue that sometimes fame is the downside of art. If that is that, would y'all agree with that or no? Or
Yeah, I mean, they're different. It's really apples and oranges because you can make tons of money from your artwork, whether it's paintings, sculptures, music, and nobody knows what you look like. You're not famous. Nobody knows who you are. I mean, they might know your name. Your name is famous.
writers, some
Your
famous
likeness
songwriters,
is not
people like
famous.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I've also
know.
seen, like, musicians, per se, that were famous, but weren't rich because they weren't making money. Everybody knew who they were,
Yep.
but they were getting the
Yes.
short end of the stick, you know, in one way or another. So there's fame without money, money without fame.
And
So those are kind of different measurements.
Having a hit
And-
record and not being able to afford rent.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the nexus. It seems to be around this commodifying it, right? When you transition into trying to commercialize it or profit from it, it gets difficult, and that's where I see a lot of people come unraveled in the art, you know, and trying to take their art journey is. Look, we're lucky enough to have a friend like Kira Wilson. Just as an example of this community thing we were talking about. Kira is a multi-decade, internationally acclaimed artist, really, really, really good at what she does, and she also has a degree in business. So she has all of those years of art experience, but she also has all of those years of business experience. That is really uncommon for artists. That's an uncommon thing. There aren't very many artists out there who also have business degrees. It's like she uses both sides of her brain, and most of us only use mostly one side of our brain, to use an analogy, right? So trying to commodify something like that, you see just people having problems pricing their art. How often do we talk about that? I have artists that I know very well that I respect a whole lot that still struggle pricing their art.
I get messages all the time. How should I price this? What is this worth? And it's a whole discussion. It's not something easily just said. You know, there's no like bulk item number whatever
Let me look
for this
that
piece
up.
of artwork.
Oh, right there.
It's all individual, and it's all skill level. It's all kinds of stuff, but it's also personal. You know, a lot of people don't they underestimate the personal aspect of pricing the work as well. So it's really interesting to see somebody either lowball their stuff or think they're higher than they are, and you're trying to find this well balanced area to put them in, and it's hard because once you start talking about money, it becomes complicated, and people don't like talking about money. You know, even if they ask you something, so it's a rough conversation to have. But,
Right.
Yeah.
Here's always free,
It
but
is.
no one buys it. Johnny Ray. But yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, it's necessary, right? I mean, we got to eat. And if art is how we pay our bills, then it's commodified. It's you know,
Yeah.
now you get down in the morality and all of that. Like, for example, I've known people, or I've come across people, that they would price their art based on the client. If they knew somebody had a lot of money, then suddenly they charged more for their art. I personally think that's unethical. I think it is what it is, no matter who's buying it. But I've had people get pissed off when I said, I think that's unethical. But for me, it has to tie to You know, the way I calculate up a guitar is how many hours do I have in it? How much did all the equipment cost to buy to put in it? And that's your cost,
Yeah.
right? Materials, equipment, and time, basically. And it comes out to be whatever it is. What I've never done is, okay, I'm going to build a piece of furniture that costs X amount of dollars. What I've always done is build what I build, and it costs what it costs.
Yeah.
So maybe I was able to avoid some of that because I just always thought about it as a different calculation. Okay, I'm making a table. When I get done with this table, I'll figure out what materials are in it and how much time I spent on it, and I'll come up with a price I think is fair and reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And ironically, there were always people that said it was underpriced, and there were always people that were, woe is me, I can't believe how much that is. And I was kind of like, if you can't believe how much it is, then this one's not for you.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
It's okay. This one's not for you.
At what price point do I feel comfortable handing over this creation that I have spent this much time with and given this much of myself to?
Yes.
Yes.
That's kind of, I think that's a biggie for me. And I mean, I know that you have to put all of your costs, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of it really boils down to me, like, well, what, I got to pay my bills, I got to feed the family, you know, that kind of thing. But at the same time, there's a lot of it there that's, what am I comfortable letting this go at?
Which kind of brings us to emotional and psychological impact of art pricing. doesn't get you angry with the expense. Is it bringing you sorrow? Is it bringing you joy? Is it bringing you whatever emotions you're feeling? And that artwork and allowing people to connect with the experience beyond their own is what you're selling. You know, it's something
Experience
like we
beyond
talked
their
about.
own. Yes.
We were talking about vibing off of artwork or music or whatever, or even like literature. We haven't even talked about lit, which is like another area of art. You know, the humanities is vast. So, and you know, writers and poets, they don't get enough mention in the arts. You know, and they're struggling because it's a hard road. You know, once you go down that road of the humanities, it's gonna be rough. That's all there is to it. And it's like why we called our podcast Genteel Poverty, because you have to get ready to be wanting more but having less, because that's the way it goes. You're investing in your soul, you're investing in the love of what you do, and you're not going to get a ton out of it unless you get lucky. and you have to know people and work hard, of course. But you know, the very fact is that, you know, art gives us emotions, and it's I can't think of too many things that else do that. Maybe nature, you know. So it's kind of this raw power that artists have, like musicians and writers and poets and anybody, furniture makers. Because Nakashima, I look at that stuff and I'm flabbergasted, and it's the most gorgeous furniture I've ever seen in my life. And works of guitar works, you know, different bodies of guitars. There's a reason they make several different styles, you know, of guitars, because it fits, it speaks to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Music, as an example, has always been, I've always thought of music as a companion, as if it was a living thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little kid that walked around with the AM FM radio. My mom would come in at night and be like, put that thing away, you got to go to sleep, you know, and I'm sneaking listening to the song that came out this week or whatever, you know. It was always my companion. Amber. that raw expression that you were talking about, right? The power. I think that is why there's such a visceral reaction sometimes, right? Because people are able to identify this person, or they perceive it as this person has some power or something that either I don't like or I want to have it, so they shouldn't have it because it's some zero-sum game or something. It's a strange. You're right. It's a strange area to explore, and the psychological portion of it, right? The psychology of what people think success is, what people see as failure. The fact that oftentimes people don't equate those as to be successful, you're going to have some failures. That's how it works.
Yeah. It's all subjectivity. It's
Yes.
it's all in how you perceive things. So
By what measure?
Yes.
I think that question should be asked all the time to almost anything.
Yes.
Somebody's giving their opinion. By what measure?
Thanks, Toya. Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yep.
And I think that's part of the power of the art community is they're the ones often that are holding up the mirror, right? Whether it's governments or corporations or segments of society or whatever it might be. Oftentimes, artists are the ones that feel the wrath of society. Thank you, Toya. And here's another point that I would make, and I don't speak for these two gentlemen. This is just me. They probably agree
you
with
better
me,
not.
There is this, I don't know, consciousness that can be negative. It's almost like a mindset that people get into, and they see other people doing things as a threat to them. And in the same way that art can shine a light on a subject, it can also strip bare individuals, people, we have had many conversations about having to be careful with that authority or power or whatever that comes with that, right? If people begin to perceive you as some sort of authority on whatever subject and the ego takes over, then pretty quickly you're over into dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the cool thing about the other side of that coin is, however, that we have people in this community from all walks of life, from all religious backgrounds, political backgrounds, all of that stuff. And they leave it at the door in order to come participate in the community of creating art and building community wrapped around that. So I've seen people who have some pretty strong views about things set some of that stuff aside in order to collaborate on one project or another. And so there's another place where I think art affects change. It's an equalizer. It makes people from totally different worlds be able at least have one thing that they can connect on. It may be music. I mean, it may be an image that Ashman creates. I've seen that happen. I've seen Ashman draw something, and people that I know are kind of from different worlds start talking about it. And they lose sight of the fact they're from different worlds, and they're just having a conversation about Ashman's art. And it's beautiful, man. Every time that happens, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm trying not to let anybody know that we see it happening. We see y'all, but it's amazing.
I'm watching it in real time.
Yeah, it's kind of like sitting in a theater, right? You don't care who's next to you or whatever. We're all enjoying the human experience of watching a film. The ups and downs, the trivial, the hilarious, the sad.
Unless you're a complete
it is.
asshole. Then you care.
Yeah, kicking the seat. But we all just want to be a part of that kind of group and just kind of meld into the moment, and if you're too busy trying to puff your own chest during that moment, then you have to reevaluate yourself.
Yes.
Because if you put the pipe and the slippers and the padded arms on your jacket and sit there and go, I can't learn anything from anyone. Well, you're a problem. You're a problem. You imagine thinking you can't learn from people in the chat. There's so many people with different areas of expertise, different stories, different paths. You're going to learn something from everybody. And if you think you can't, again, you're the problem. That's the problem.
Yes, absolutely. Humility comes with art too, right?
Oh yeah.
You sometimes create things that are just in your mind they're trash, and other people are like, "Oh, it's great," but in your mind you're like, "Yeah, that sucks." But it also humbles you. The other side of that is sometimes you make something that you think it's great, and you end up being the only person on the planet that thinks it's great. That happens too.
For me.
Right. That happens too, and you're right, it's so subjective. But I believe that art is an equalizer. It has been in my life. I am a kid from a teenage mom, and my dad at that time didn't have a shit together. So she was pretty much on her own. And, trailer parks of the Panhandle of the Gulf Coast. And from there, the journey that art has taken me on is unbelievable. I mean, I get to have conversations with people that I never dreamed in a million years I'd get to talk to. It's insane. And it's because I fully committed to it. I fell in love with woodworking, and I was like, I'm not going to school for this. I'm not doing whatever. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it my way. Whatever it is, whatever system I come up with to build things will be my own. Now, that isn't to say that I didn't learn from other people and take ideas and criticism and all of that. But I just didn't go to like a formal trade school of any sort and get formal training.
Well, yeah, of course you're going to apply things that you learned through your life to whatever you're working on in the moment. So, yeah, and yeah, it's interesting because I didn't do a lot of schooling for painting either. But I took one class and went, okay, I'm good, and I went about my business.
I'm sitting here thinking of the irony. No. I was just sitting here laughing to myself. Yeah, I was laughing to myself thinking I started childhood learning to play instruments, all of them. And then like somewhere around teenage years, I started playing in bands and practiced, all the time. And then later I was practicing, 100 hours a week and then going on tours and all this stuff. And I got so far and I was able to accomplish so much. And then one day I picked a stick up off the ground at a farm that I live on now. And here I am. There's just such a big stark difference there. It's like so strange. Talking about change. Art definitely changed that. That changed my trajectory. One thing I was doing. Because if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would still be sitting here recording albums and not releasing them.
And you're a great example though, man, because your whole life has been a career in art, and you've gone through different facets of art. I mean, you've been through the music realm, you've been through the painting realm, the sculpting realm, and others. I know you do some digital stuff. You just never tell anybody about it. You've also made albums that you haven't released. So it is pervasive in your life. When we have conversations, a lot of the times the examples you use are from one various art career or another. Like your life experiences are wrapped around go all the way back to, you've talked about being a piercer. or working
Yeah.
with tattoo artists. You know,
Yeah.
that too is you were using art as your way of putting food on the table. So you've got
Yeah,
a broad range of experience in the art world, man, and so that brings me back full circle. The fact that you are so kind and generous with your time and with your sharing, your experiences and your knowledge. Is it something that have you always done that, or is that something you were like one day, you know what? Some other folks could probably benefit from some shit I know.
I've always tried to be like that. I don't know if I've always been successful. But I think that I had that ingrained in me somewhere my whole life. But it's whether or not how much attention I paid to it, and even when I did, how well I was able to execute it. And I think it's one of those, with age comes wisdom. And I don't know that there was necessarily a day that I flipped a switch. It's just the more things you experience, the more you start to understand with any kind of empathy or sympathy whatsoever for other humans. It just starts to evolve as long as you're not fighting it, as long as you're not trying to. I think we're given a different task, and that's be tough, be all those things, and that really does get in the way of trying to help people most of the time. Because even when you're trying to help people, if you're trying to be tough and you're trying to be an alpha, you're putting yourself first. So if you can let go of that with the age and the wisdom, and you can just become a normal ass person, and maybe I got the upper hand to help me change over because I was able to go out and tour and play in front of thousands of people, so being that overly overt, over the top person that I had to be, it kind of tuned me in, over time, I think. But
Man, I've seen it. Look, we've done some events together, and I've seen you when you are absolutely exhausted. When the lights come on, the smile comes on, and here we go. And there is just something in you. There's something. I've worked with you long enough now. We know each other well enough now that I know there's just something that turns on. No matter, it's like autopilot clicks on, and you're on stage, and you're doing what you got to do to make it happen. And
right,
that's also an art form.
yeah.
Understanding how to navigate that exact thing.
Even musically, like lyrically, what I would write, I was always trying to help people then, and it didn't come off on the surface as that. It was violent metal, like ultra-violent. We were hurting each other on stage, but if you actually listen to the stuff, the message was trying to help humanity move forward in a positive direction. But I was putting on my stage persona, per se, to do that. So, that's embedded. When we're doing this stuff here and we know that we're trying to help other people, yeah, I've got decades of turn it on. It's time to work. They used to joke around, time to play a rock and roll show, Chad. Let's go, put your boots on. Time to play a rock and roll show. Time to play a rock and roll show. I think I probably said that to you a few times while we were out on trips. Time to play a rock and roll show. But, put your boots on, lace them up. Get to it.
It's amazing, man, because there is definitely an intangible. What's the word I'm looking for? That extra thing. Intangible. That lagniappe. What I would call it would be lagniappe if you're from Louisiana, and that means a little something extra. And there's some lagniappe with Chad. You've seen it, Ash. You've seen it.
Oh yeah.
At S.A.'s event, boom. when it's time to turn on the thing and go, the guy goes, man. And you see how the people in the room respond. We got to witness it in person. So, Louisiana, that's right, Toya, that's right. So, I don't know. I think we could. I think this conversation could go on for days because there's so many different ways that I believe art changes things. And we mentioned a few negative ones, and there's always that kind of thing. But overall, that's negligible, really.
Yeah, you just steamroll right over that shit.
Well, that and artists are adept at undressing other artists who are trying to use something for the wrong reasons, right? Like artists are. That's the beautiful thing about the art world too, in a lot of ways, right? Somebody comes out with something obnoxious, let's say, then there's usually some artist out there that's got an idea that can counter it, right?
Take the piss out of them. Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know what I mean? Knock things down a notch a little bit. Sometimes humility is self-made and sometimes it's forced on you. Sometimes you humble yourself and sometimes you get humbled, but it usually happens one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's needed like nourishment.
So art,
Nourish you.
that's another change that it can make in people, is it can humble them. I've seen people... Look, this isn't a humble brag. This is an experience. I was fortunate enough that at a young age, I was in the military working on planes and I flew around a lot. So I got to see quite a few places. And I can tell you, standing in Florence, Italy, looking at a sculpture that Michelangelo carved, pretty freaking cool.
Jealous.
It's an experience. Right? Standing looking at architecture that's been standing there for 1,500 years or 1,000 years or however long, that's pretty cool. We don't have nothing like that over here. Like, we ain't been here long.
That's
right?
on my
You know
bucket
what I mean?
list. I want to go see all of that. That's on my bucket list. I have to go see that.
And I can remember being stationed in Germany, and my very first college course I took to the University of Maryland, European Division. There was a campus on our base, and it was an art history class. And to this day, it's still one of the best classes I've ever taken. But in part, we broke out that book. I still have the book. We broke it out on one of Ashman's shows. But it had imagery in the book, and then we could go downtown at the museum and look at these things. And it was life-changing, right? First time in 8th grade, the first time I ever went anywhere to speak of was on a bus trip to Washington, D.C. And every day I bugged my math teacher about going on that trip. It was for the PATS kids. It was for all the kids in the SMART program. And I bugged her every day for a year. And she finally added me on to the trip. And I was like the extra kid on the trip. But I can remember standing in the Smithsonian going, holy cow, this is cool. It was life-changing for me. I'd never seen anything like that. I was from, the Gulf Coast. Little panhandle, and I'm standing in front of, the Hope Diamond or something. It was crazy. It was life-changing. And it was the art hanging on those walls, and in some instances, like the dinosaurs and that kind of thing. But a lot of it was the art. Y'all have similar journeys as kids, like art or music, kind of reach out to you.
Yeah, music, of course. But yeah, going to the Phoenix Art Museum as a kid and seeing Jean Leon Gérôme's Thumbs Down. It's a gladiator painting, very famous. And it was just a beautiful painting. And I'd always want to stand in front of it. I was that weird little kid that just stood in front of it looking at it for like 30, 40 minutes. And finally parents going, come on, let's go. It's like, it is insanely good. And there's those moments where we connect with art, and I had no idea at that point that I was going to be a member of the security for the museum as well. So it was like, then all of a sudden I was guarding it, and I always took that to heart. And I got to meet amazing artists like Fritz Schulder, one of my favorite artists of all time. I got to hang out with him. I was just surprised,
Amazing.
very nice
Amazing.
guy, very cool dude. And I got to hang out with him, and
That's
I'll never
amazing.
forget that. That's life changing too, because you get to see a Native American artist who's very successful at what he does and gets to do what he wants, and it was really cool.
Yeah, you touched Monet stuff,
I
and
did, I did put
you
my
did
hands
some
all
other
over it.
things. You did some other things there too. Your artwork hung next to a Beatles artwork.
Oh yeah, yeah. My artwork hung next to Ringo Starr's art at the Rockstar Gallery up in
Nice.
Scottsdale. I have a
His
bunch of oil
artwork hung
paintings.
next to Ringo Starr's art at a gallery in Scottsdale. In case you didn't hear that,
That was
it's
pretty
crazy.
cool. That
Crazy.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet it was
That
pretty
is
cool.
amazing, dude.
Ringo fucking Starr. Yeah. I believe you got to put that in the middle of his name these days.
Probably. So yeah, that was life changing too. I'm not gonna poo-poo that moment either. That was like one of those steps where you're like, I'm like putting my stuff up, and I'm like looking to the side. I'm like, is that real? And I look over and I was like, yeah, no, it's Ringo Starr's artwork. That's crazy. And he had a whole bunch of pieces in there, and I was doing Yellow Submarine art. So I had a bunch of different scenes from the Yellow Submarine cartoon that I'd painted over abstracts, and they did well. So it was pretty cool. It was a nice day out at the gallery.
That's amazing, man. The multi-million dollar lady has entered the chat. I'm more small. Art has always been my escape. I was impacted by the storybooks with art as a kid. Right
Oh
on.
yeah.
Heard that. Heard that, Kira. It's weird, man. I just came from a world outside of music. I didn't think that much about art. Like I played sports and did other things, and I just
Yeah.
I had a couple bad experiences. I wanted to play music, and the school system I was in wasn't very good. And so now it's weird, right? At this later stage in life, now my entire life revolves around music and building musical instruments. And it's like this weird full circle thing happened, but it only happened because of a community of people. Chad, no, I mean Chad and Ash does a lot too, but just because Chad was there at the beginning, and literally when Chad asked me to help with his show, I was like, dude, why do you need me to, like, who the hell am I? Like, nobody's gonna care that I'm sitting in here. Like, he was like, no, you don't understand, man. This is gonna work. This is gonna work. Just trust me. I'm like, I don't fucking know you. How am I gonna trust you? So we came to an agreement. We had a conversation, and we were like, look, if we're gonna do the things that we want to do, that we're dreaming of doing, we're gonna have to trust each other, and we have a problem here. Both of us have a difficult time trusting folks without spending some time with them, like a long, I'm talking about a long time with them, and years. And Chad and I had to figure that out in about 2 weeks. And we just finally had a conversation like, all right, we're going to trust each other until we give each other a reason not to. And that never
I think
happened.
we might be onto something.
What's that?
We might be onto something. This whole Ginn Project Show thing that we were thinking about doing.
It
our
might
first
stay on.
couple hundred pilot episodes have went pretty well. You think we should do this for real now?
Yeah, for real. Kira, I agree. Like
Yes,
you don't,
Kira.
but you don't know what you don't know, right? Like I really was perfectly happy building stuff in my basement, and actually, I thought it was kind of cool that there were only a handful of people that I had to deal with. Like it was, I mean, it was a pretty good gig. You know what I mean? Like, especially for a reclusive. But I had spent so much time dealing with the public and dealing with, running a business and the social work world. Before that, I bartended. I've washed dishes. I've worked at grocery stores. So I got to the point. I think I was just burnt out dealing with the public in some respects, right? And I don't know. Y'all, in a lot of ways, rejuvenated that. And Chad's crazy ass coming up with all these wild ideas about being on shows and stuff. It all just sounded kind of, I mean, I laughed, dude, right? I laughed. I literally laughed. I was like, man, what are you talking about? Why the hell would you need me? Like, he was right, though. He was right. I did laugh at his ass, though.
Yeah, everybody blames me, Kira. It's my fault. All of the bad things, it's all me.
But at that point in time, honestly, Chad was still in his journey finding himself too. Because when I first met Chad, he was painting.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess there had been a little bit of grinding on stuff in the background a little bit. I'm not sure if that had to do with his rock and roll career or if that was actual artwork.
Right.
I know that he ended up with a child.
Yeah.
I think maybe that was a different kind of grind, my brother.
What do the three of you want
Doing
for
good.
your own art journey going forward? Like as a unit or individually, Kira?
All right, Ash, you go first. What do you want from your art journey from this moment? That's a good question. I think he had a better question.
I just want to keep being who I am, and I want to be able to express everything that I can with the time I have left. I want to make sure I'm not going to the dirt nap with regrets. I want to make sure I take every swing. I want to make sure I try my best at everything, and I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Because look at me, I'm just like doing whatever the hell I want on this platform because I can and I want to. I want all the crazy out of the box. I don't want anything left behind. I think that's the thing. I like being, stay true to yourself. Be you. That's my big thing going forward.
All right. I like it. I think you're gonna live up to that, Ash. I'm confident in that one,
man. Let's see here. I would like to continue to make art and be allowed to make art and free to make art that allows me to not only get therapy from it, but allows me to do what I already at least try to do, and I try to look at the dark places for the human species, and I don't mean far off reaches, I mean right here, right there. It's right there on the surface, and I like to find it, and I like to put it on display so that when people don't like it, I can tell them, well then, fix it. So I would hope that I would be allowed to continue to get my therapy and hopefully not only during my days that I have left see some kind of positive movement from what I've created, but I would hope that I would leave a legacy in that art that would go on like well past my own life cycle. And during that time frame, what I would like to accomplish is it would be nice if I could pay my bills, feed my family, doing what I love, which I think that's the dream for everybody. But I also want to impress on my daughter a multitude of things from doing it. First, I hope that she can see the darkness that I pull out and put on display. Some of it she's not ready for due to her age, because humans are filthy, filthy creatures. We're awful, awful things sometimes. But I hope that she'll be able to learn from it, and even maybe like once I'm gone, she'll be able to look at these pieces and understand me more and understand my view on the reality that we live in. You often hear that if you want to know about an era of humanity, look at the art that came out of it. Because history books are going to be rewritten by whoever won an election or a war. Art is made by the rebels. Sometimes the only way we can speak out without getting shipped off is through art. Be it music, be it sculpting, be it painting. These are the only ways that we can sometimes slip through the system and tell the entire truth about everything. So I hope that I can accomplish that. I hope I can enjoy the same thing that many like master artists have enjoyed before me, and that's leaving a mark to tell you a story about humans and hopefully help you help everyone else. Does that make sense? Like, to be a positive movement forward. Because I mean, even when you look at like the really old pieces, when they're more like just human form and things, they were teaching. They were showing something. They were making something okay that wasn't before. So there was a lot to be learned, even from like looking at the Statue of David. That's one of the ones that's on my list. I mean, they were showing the human form in every minuscule detail in an era where it was still kind of like, and it was getting worse. So that's kind of what I would like to do. I would like to be able to take care of my family while hopefully leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for the hope of our species in some form or manner, and be a good dad while I still do all that. That's what I want. That's my thing. I don't want to be famous. I mean, if that's what it takes to like make, rock the boat, whatever. But I'd really rather just sit here on my farm and make art and come out of the woods once in a while when it's time to hang out with you guys. Hang out with you guys and then screw you guys.
You know why, Ted? You know why?
You want to know why? You want to know why again?
Damn hippies.
You want to know why again? I'll tell you why. That's why again.
That's why. Damn hippies.
Yes, Mama T, you hear my little chickens.
Yeah.
My little peepers.
I think both of you guys do exactly what you just said. I think you both inspire other people to better themselves. I think you both every day get up and try to better yourselves to your own detriment even. Yeah, I agree. I think that the rebels, in whatever cause and whatever era, were the people that the people that tend to push the boundaries tend to come from the art world oftentimes, and the record keepers also tend to come from the art world oftentimes. Oftentimes, the only thing we know about a civilization is a couple pieces of art left over that somebody didn't think to smash.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a I don't know. There's a fertile ground for the world to get better.
There's a reason that tyrants like to destroy the art of their enemies, because it says it speaks such volume.
Yep.
I said that the other week, that we're the canaries in the coal mine, and we're the ones that first go, we're in trouble, and we're often some of the first to get dispatched too. So it's the way it is. It's a mean world, but
Right,
I'm going to still keep saying what I feel like I'm going to say. So, because screw that.
What are you doing if you're not, right? I mean,
Exactly.
come on. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Move.
Exactly.
The juxtaposition of those two statements is stark, and they're both true in my opinion. Toya said, pretty neat how it's mostly preserved over time. In some instances it is, in other instances almost all or completely destroyed. And then Laura says, I sometimes think of the art that has been lost over time. Yeah, and that was the second part of that is that, you know, it is astonishing some of the stuff that has made it and how it has made it. And it is also astonishing how stupid humans have been and just destroyed shit for, I mean, they burned the library down in Alexandria.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that, look, while, here's a little art. While Europe was going through the Dark Ages, had gone backwards 500 years, in Asia and in the Middle East, they were doing things like creating new kinds of math and new languages and new ways, you know, and apparatuses that were kind of like computers in modern times. So another thing that has happened over human history is that a whole lot has been lost and forgotten. And some of it was able to get recovered through the art that was left in some instances. Some technologies they were able to kind of decipher how they did things through imagery that were painted by artists. And it wasn't necessarily just like what we think of as still photographs. It was their interpretation of what was going on, and it helped other people glean what actually happened.
You know,
anyway,
that's one of the big reasons. That's one of the big reasons that I'm working towards doing bronze work. I think I'm just enamored with the thought of how long that can last. They pull bronze sculptures from the sea that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. They clean them off, and they're just fine. Yeah, we're about to get that one, Kira. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that draws me towards doing bronze is that immortality of a, you know.
I think it's funny because I'm the complete opposite. I want to disappear. God, like I want my stuff to be ephemeral. It's going to go away like me. It's just going to go away.
Yeah, Kira, remember we were talking about that ephemeral piece I was working out in my head? I think I got it figured out. We'll talk soon. Anyway.
So, Ash, are you saying that you don't want any of your art to last either, or to be around after you're gone?
To me, it's not the art. To me, it's the knowledge that I'm passing down to other people. That's what I want to go on.
I see what you're saying. I got you. You
the
won't
artwork
be.
Is
No one will.
Almost secondary, but to teach another artist my skills and my abilities and how to do things, it's kind of more interesting to me. But that's a personal aspect.
Yeah, well, being able to art is a gift to our psyche, you know. So I mean, that is a huge thing that you pass over when you teach somebody how to art, whether it's basic or advanced or just your own dumbass opinion on it. You know, there's a lot of stuff I do. It's probably the wrong way, but if it works for somebody else, you know, it's like you're saying there. Then you've helped them express themselves, you've helped them get therapy, you've helped them, the list goes on and on and on. I get that completely.
Yeah, Kira.
Yep.
Heard that. Well, it's a complicated answer to that question for me. I guess in the short term, I want to be able to continue making a living making things. But I want to do it a different way. I'm not a capitalist. So I want everybody to benefit. I want to have a business that grows from a guy in a basement and a handful of people to not grow. It's already grown, but I want to live up to that growth is what I'm saying. I feel like that there are quite a few people at this point who have a bit riding on the things that I'm building. And it could feed quite a few families. So in the short term, that's my priority, to make the best possible thing that I can make, in hopes that we're able to show people there is another way to do business. It doesn't have to be cutthroat and at each other's, all of that. It can be cooperative. It can be like, hey, I'm building a guitar. You want to put the artwork on it? We'll add that on to whatever the thing is, and your cut's your cut. Oh, and by the way, the T-shirts, the merch, all the stuff that we do on the back end, we split. Or the stuff that the artist creates just all on their own, they get. So, which isn't how Gibson and Fender and those places operate. So, in the medium term, I want to do business a different way than a lot of people think. I want to show that we can do business in a different way, and everybody gets to make a living and enjoy what they do and get to go do some events and things like that. In the longer term, I hope part of the reason I wanted to do some of the time-lapse stuff that I never did, and Ash did actually, I did one, is I have this hope that other people, potentially younger people in some instances, would want to learn to work with their hands, would be willing to take a chance on themselves earlier. Maybe they don't start that journey like I did at 40 or late 30s. Maybe they figure that out earlier and they're able to just start building stuff with their hands right out of high school. So I would like to help facilitate other people. I would like to bend the curve and make it easier for other people to do what I've done. Because I really thoroughly enjoy what I get to do, and I get to work with some of the best people on earth. I really do. I mean, I get to. My friends are just some amazing people.
When do you have time to work with those folks? Because you're always with us doing stuff.
That's true.
So it's kind of short term. I want to make the best possible guitars that I can make, because that's what I'm focused on doing for this stretch of my life. I want that endeavor, however, to have a broader impact and to put meals on tables outside of my own home. And in the long term, I hope that other people might want to pick up the mantle and start doing similar things, or maybe even modify the way they do things and try to do it in a more cooperative nature, because I think we can show that there's enough for everybody to eat. There's enough for us to support each other. And what we've done over the past 2 years, in my observation, is when somebody's got an event going on, we all rally around that person. And then somebody else has got an event going on, and we rally around that person. And let's take Samantha, the starving artist. She put in the hard work. She did 3 events where she won, and then she got her own show. She has 3 banners right now hanging in Midtown Atlanta with her artwork on it, which is the 2nd year in a row. Last year, she had 2 banners hanging down there. I went down there myself and saw them. Got pictures of it and everything. But so she is impacting other people in her community, right? And she is inspired. We got to talk to people that were inspired within her own family and within her own community, right? So I want to continue to do that. I want when Ash has events, I want people to show up and make that event successful and get the message across. And then, so I want it to be passed on. I want to have a model that can be passed on to other people to carry it on after we're gone, so that, as Chad stated from the very beginning, he wanted the shows set up to where if one of us fell off the face of the earth, they could continue on without us. That's how you leave. That's how you make lasting change, is you give other people the tools necessary to make that change. And then they take those tools and do their own thing with them. And I'm using an analogy because I'm in a shop full of tools, but I often use I have no idea how many people made a living with this tool. I have no idea how many generations. It's a few. It's old enough to be a few.
I know one.
But I often wonder about the people that made a living with all of the different tools in my shop, and what their life was like. And I also wonder what life will be like for people 50 years from now and 100 years from now. And I hope there's still people around that can build things with their hands.
That
was a long ass answer. Sorry, guys.
No, that was a good answer.
Yeah.
Kira didn't like your answer. She liked Ash and I, but she didn't hear you. She was like, yeah.
She
like, Ginn
please drop your boos in the chat.
Yeah, she was like, boo, boo.
Yes, Toya.
Yes, Toya. You know, that reminds me of what you're talking about there. I was talking to Lars a while back, and we were talking about the state of society in the United States and the state of society in Norway and the way that it used to be here. And he was talking about you're basically expected to sign up for so many charity things, and everybody helps everybody do everything. Like if you're going to build a fence, all the neighbors show up to help you build that fence. Now, you'll probably fire up the grill, the wife will make the dinner, whatever. But they make dinner for all the people, and everybody rallies around that event to get that fence built for that person. And then when it's the next person's time, they all go over there and they help that person till the field, whatever it is. He said they always keep tea and like, I think it was like some kind of cake things or pastries or whatever it is over there. They keep them on hand and fresh made all the time in case somebody stops by. Yes, Toya, you're right.
And yes, Mama T.
An old fashioned, it is. And that's how it used to be here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And we always say, nobody's coming to save you. We have to save ourselves. That is the epitome right there of saving yourself. Be as self-sufficient as you can, but rely on all the other folks that will also in turn rely on you. I think that this community right here, birth of art, is giving way to that movement right here, right now in real time in front of us. So if you want to talk about artistic change, I think that this art community is leaning towards that style of life. And I don't know that there is any better thing that we could do for ourselves as humans at this point in this timeline in which we exist, aside from, yes, the barn raising, the Southern hospitality when it comes to that. Making sure we're there and ready to build our neighbor's fence, because our fence is going to need to get built. And I think that's one of the biggest artistic changes that I'm seeing. I see personal, small art changes. I say small, okay, in comparison. I see small art changes in myself and Ash and Ginn, everybody here. But the bigger picture that I see is the leaning towards that mentality. And I never in a million years thought when we started firing up and doing these shows that this is what would be happening, but I'm extremely grateful that it is.
It's interesting because I've had so many young artists ask me questions and then I answer them and they act like, holy cow, thank you. And it's like, isn't everybody doing that? Shouldn't everybody be trying to pass down what they know to help everybody? To keep going forward, we need to do that sort of thing. And if you're not doing it, then I don't know what you're keeping the secret for, to some simple questions, just to answer the damn question, help somebody out. I've
Yeah.
never understood it. If anybody has questions, I always try and answer, and I try not to give a wrong answer because I don't want to pass ignorance
We'll
down
always
either.
give you answers, guys. Are they always right?
What's up?
If I don't know, I'm going to pass you along to somebody who might. And most people I know on this platform will help. So that's all there is to it. I don't see the point in keeping knowledge to yourself when you can help out the community.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree 100%. I think that, man, our experiences, all of our experiences tell us that life kind of comes in cycles, it ebbs and flows. And, community helps level that out, right? Some folks right now are going some really hard stuff. We have a lady in the chat right now. And she's going through some rough stuff right now, and hopefully she feels supported by her community. You know what I mean? On a very real level, and because of life's kind of ebb and flow, when things happen in each individual's life, and people are able to rally around them, it makes it easier for those that care about them. And an example would be, I went in for a routine procedure. One of the medications they gave me stopped my heart or screwed my heart up, and it was on for a little while there. And my wife was pretty anxious, pretty worried. And the two
Rightfully
people
so.
that she the two people that she talked to or reached out to, communicated with, were these two men right here. And the reason I bring that up is there is no more real world example for me than the person that I care about the most on this planet. Who did she reach out to when the shit hit the fan? It's
The
people
bane
in
of your
this
existence.
it's people in this community. It's people in this very community that showed up. So, and that's just a little anecdotal thing. It ain't all about me. On that day it was, though. On that day it was, and y'all showed up for my wife, and I'll forever be grateful. Doesn't even matter if you showed up for me. You showed up for her. That's way more important. And that's the other thing I think that art does is it pulls down some barriers. It did for me and it did for Chad, and we bet on each other, and it's one of the best bets I ever made in my life. My wife
And then we
was the
bet on
better one.
Ash, and he saved both of our asses.
And then the next bet was Ash. Yeah, yes sir. So I'm invested. It matters to me. Y'all matter to me. I don't always get it right. I don't have all the answers. I'm new to the art community, relatively speaking, but I'm not new to the human community. I'm not new to the social side of things.
I am. I'm new to the human community.
but I am inspired by the community that we have found ourselves among, and I think that if we all just continue to try to get better and try to improve and communicate and not put egos in the way and that kind of thing, then the sky's the limit. Because here's the other advantage that it has. Like I was saying earlier, when someone in the community has an event going on, then people tend to rally and try to support it. And that replaces the structure that some of these entities that we're competing against have. The entities that have lawyers and all of that kind of thing, and PR departments and psychologists on staff and advertising, people and all of that. We're able to compete. We're able to compete with some of those people because we've got Laura and Spurs and folks like that who look up information or adjust on the fly and make it happen. And this platform, the ability to do live what we do, if we're good at what we do, then they can't stop that, right? It's a way to fight back against whatever it might be. Because if you're good at what you do, there is some portion of that that is undeniable. And I think that in part is what drives us too. Part of having that voice is the responsibility that comes behind it. Anyway, that's all I got.
And I'm spent.
End the scene.
Do we want to play the folks out, or tonight y'all just want to punch out? Y'all didn't get a break tonight. Y'all were the show.
Play him out.
Yeah, sure, play it.
You guys vote. You guys vote right here, man. And we love you guys, Johnny. We're with you, girl.
Oh yeah,
we are with you all the way.
Hey, firstborn.
What's up, firstborn? Yeah,
Johnny. Congratulations on having so many T cells. Holy cow, that's awesome. I love it.
So awesome.
Well,
if you want, we'll do an update on your GoFundMe like tomorrow or something, Johnny. Hit me up. Let me know what's up. We're getting votes for the song, homie.
Hey, Fish's phone.
Nobody should skip it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll have another guest for you back on next week. Maybe even two. But please make sure you go check out Ashman's Basic Art Store.com. Please go check out ChadRevArt.com. Please support folks like Johnny Ray in the community. We got a friend named Rebecca out there who's going through it. And then we got folks like Betty Jean, Laura Jane, and all the myriad cast of people that support each other. And might I add, there's a whole bunch of folks that never get any credit or seldom get any credit because there's just, at this point, so many people that are doing such amazing things. Team Nate, there's another one right there. So yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being patient with us, and thank you for giving us a little grace. We do want to support everybody, but sometimes it's difficult shouting every single person out every single time. So please forgive us if we missed you.
Take it up with
Appreciate
HR.
y'all. Laura will take all complaints from this time forward.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Probably will, Nate. Y'all catch me live in a little bit.
He carves the wood with a steady hand. He's got the magic, the master, the man. Ashman by his side with a joke or two. They're building dreams in a world of blue. The Ginn Project, where the soul takes flight. Chad's in the corner, keeps it all tight. MC Haley Beth keeps the groove just right. The Ginn Project, guitars burn bright. Stardust flies like a desert storm, crafting tones that are rich and warm. Ashman's laugh echoes through the shop, with Chad sharp wit, they never stop. It's not just tools, it's a family thing. Every note they build starts to sing. The Ginn Project, where the soul takes flight. Chad's in the corner, keeps it all tight. MC Haley Beth keeps the groove just right. The Ginn Project, guitars burn bright. Strings hum like a river's moan. Each fret a story, each each chord a home. Haley's voice is the spark in the flame. Together they rise, they're changing the game. Strings hum like a river's moan. Each fret a story, each chord a home. Haley's voice is a spark in the flame. Together they rise, they're changing the game.